G'day, welcome back to Tamiya Talk RC. Or if you haven't been here before, welcome. So, today we're just going to have a quick chat. It might be a quick video, but have a quick chat about the Tamiya First 100 RC cars that, I mean, if you're regular to the channel, you know exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to replicate the First 100 collection pretty much any way we can, using mainly re-released cars and buggies. And there's a few that that we can sort of make up out of other cars, and we're going to run through all them. First of all, we're going to run through the cars we've already acquired to date. And we'll go through the other ones that are still available as re-release cars, and then go through the ones that we can make, which we call tribute cars, I guess. And then we'll go through the ones that are very difficult or near on impossible to find or even buy. And that might be where you guys come in, actually. You maybe give us a bit of a hand with that. No, we're not talking about people buying us expensive, rare kits or even parts for these kits. What we're talking about is if any of you have these vintage kits, you can just let us know what chassis they're actually on, whether those chassis are compatible with other chassis. Not so much compatible, but if they can be copied easily using other chassis, if some of those bodies are available, even if they're available aftermarket, even as polycarbonate bodies, if the car was originally a hard body. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of you people who watch this channel, I think, who have been doing this for a lot longer than we have, even though I started playing with Tamiya RC cars when I was in my teen years, right? But it's only since we've been since we started this collection that we've actually started getting into what cars are what, and what cars use what chassis, and compatibility between cars and all that sort of stuff, you know? So that's what I mean by a lot of people know a lot more than we do, which isn't hard, because we don't know a whole lot. So we're going to bring you over to the bench, and we're actually going to run through this First 100 poster and just go through, like I said, the cars we already got, the cars we can acquire, and the cars we can make. So come on. Okay, so first of all, apologies for the glare, but we can't really do much about that. Now, before we go through all these cars and what we were talking about we're going to do, something's always bothered me about this particular photo of the Tamiya First 100. I don't know if this is the only photo or if they've done other photos similar to this, but this is the only one I've ever seen. What bothers me is some of the cars are the wrong colour. Not really the wrong colour, they're just not the box art colour. Like the Rough Rider here. It's not the box art orange, it's the optional blue. Bring you in a bit there. It does have the blue, I think it's the French blue, the same as the Sand Scorcher. It does have the blue option on the side of the box, I think. But why they went for that for the group photo, no idea. And they did the same with Ford Ranger XLT. Right here, it's supposed to be blue, it's red. And the Subaru Brat is supposed to be red and it's blue. There could be other cars in there that are the wrong colour, but they're the ones that stand out to me, and it's just something that's really annoyed me. But anyway, kind of an OCD thing, or a CDO thing. So the cars that we already have, if you've been watching the channel, then you probably already know the cars that we already have. But real quick, okay, so we have the first two SRBs, Rough Rider and the Sand Scorcher. We come down here, we don't have anything out of the first row yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The holiday buggy, we do have the re-release holiday buggy on the DTO2 chassis, which I'm calling a re-release of the holiday buggy. It's a completely different chassis, but it's basically the same body, so we're cheating a little bit with that one. That's about it for that row. This row we come down to Wild Willy 2, much the same as the holiday buggy. Completely different chassis, but almost identical body. So we're calling that good enough for our first 100 collection. I keep forgetting the name of this one.
Fighting Buggy?
Fighting Buggy, which is the re-release name for it. What was the original name for it?
Super Champ.
Super Champ, I keep forgetting it. Yeah, we have that one as well, so that's 3 of the SRBs we have, and we'll talk about the 4th one in a minute. We keep coming down, the Brad. That was our most recent build. You guys would have seen that. The Wheelies Wheeler, we have that on order. We have pre-ordered that. Obviously now it's called the Honda City Turbo. It's basically the same thing. And so what's cool about that is originally it was on the Wild Willy chassis. Well, the re-release is on the Wild Willy 2 chassis, the WRO2 chassis. So I thought that was pretty cool. Next column, we've got a fair few out of this column here. We have the Frog. We haven't bought the re-release 956, but we're getting to that. The Grasshopper. The Pajero is one of our tribute cars. We built that up out of the Tamiya Pajero kit, which is number 58727. That's the red Pajero kit with the really silly looking tyres on it. So we just used that chassis and body and lowered it back down, used a couple of Grasshopper parts. There is a video on that. Not a build video, just we're just talking about it. If you want to check that out. The Hornet, technically we have one, but it's in a state of ill repair, so we do need a new one of those to replace it. Fast attack vehicle, you would have seen the video on that. We have that. Hot Shot, much the same as the Hornet. We do have one, but it's from the mid-2000s, late 2000s, and there's just got a few broken parts, so they need to be replaced, or we're just going to replace the whole car. Bruiser, we'll talk about that in a minute. No, we don't have one, but yeah, we'll talk about that. Wild one, we have the Fox, Nova Fox, sorry. The Boomerang, that's the more recent one in the collection. The Bigwig, we pre-ordered that along with the Honda City Turbo, so they should both be turning up at the same time. That's pretty exciting. The Blackfoot, the 959, another one of our tribute cars. We built it on the MF-01X chassis and used the body from L&L Models and the decal set from MCI. Monster Beetle we have. Lunchbox we have, even though it's not painted in it's not painted box art, so I do want to get another one of them and paint it up box art. The Clod is another one of our tribute cars. We just used the Clod Black Edition, which had all the red parts, and we just painted the body up and applied again MCI decals. Moving down, Midnight Pumpkin, same as the Lunchbox. It's not painted in box art, so we've got to get another one of them just for the shelf. Grasshopper 2, we have that. That's never going to get run because I really don't like the car. There's a few cars in this first 100 that I don't like, but since we're trying to build the first 100 cars, you kind of have to have them, don't you? Not much out of this row. Actually, nothing out of this row. And we only have the top horse out of the last row. So that brings us to, I think, 26 out of the first 100 that we already have. Well, except for the Wheelies Wheeler and the Bigwig, which are on their way. We don't physically have them with us yet, but they are coming. So now the cars that are still available as re-release cars are the Tyrrell P34 and the XR 311. Found it peculiar that they released pretty much just these two cars out of this whole row. I don't know if they ever re-released the Cheetah. I want to say no. I think they re-released one of the Lamborghinis on a completely different chassis and maybe a different scale. Maybe it was 10 scale. But they've definitely re-released these two cars. So as soon as they become available to us, we're going to pick those up. The Sand Rover was re-released, but good luck finding one, and good luck finding one for a decent price. The only ones we can find are just ridiculously priced, and I'm not paying that for what's essentially the holiday buggy. Even the body sets are priced way too high. What else we got as re-releases that we don't have? Where is it? The Audi Quattro. They did re-release this. Was it on the MO5 chassis? I can't remember. They did re-release this body on a different chassis, so that can be used as another tribute car. Moving on, I don't think they ever. Oh, you're out of frame. I don't think they ever released the Opel body on anything. What else we got? The 956. Obviously, they brought out the 10 scale version on the Group C chassis. I've already been through all these. The Bruiser, obviously, they released that in 2012. The Newman Sports they haven't re-released, but it wouldn't be hard to make one out of the Group C 956, which is a tribute car, which we'll get to those in a minute. We're just going through re-releases. The Super Shot that's been re-released. Obviously not the Falcon. That's about it out of that row. Most of your buggies out of this first 100 they've re-released, except for that one there, I think. What was that one called? Madcap. So they pretty much released all of the buggies except for the Madcap and maybe one or two others. I'm just really not sure. The Astute. Where's the Astute? It's up here somewhere. There it is. They re-released that, but I think it's a completely different car. I'm not too sure. I've got to look into that one. So, when we do get all of the re-released cars, or all the cars that they have re-released, that'll take us up to almost halfway, about 46 cars in the collection from the first 100. Now, the cars that we can make, as I said, we've already done the Clodbuster, we've already done the 959, we're going to do exactly the same for the Celica Group B. Just use the aftermarket body and decals and put it on the MF-01X chassis. The Lancia Rally, we can make that out of a Frog chassis. With the Lancia 037 body, all we have to do is trim out the wheel arches and we can use the wheels and tyres off the re-released Honda City Turbo. I'm pretty sure we can do that. Should just look at my list, shouldn't I? Audi Quattro, we spoke about that. Audi Quattro, I'm pretty sure is on the Wild Willy chassis, so we can probably do one of them on the WR02 chassis if we can get the body. Back up here, Mud Blaster. We spoke about this in one of the recent videos. We're just going to buy another Blackfoot, use the chassis off the Blackfoot, chassis and the wheels, and buy another set of Monster Beetle tyres. And we've already got the hard body that's left over from our latest Brat build to create the Mud Blaster. I didn't mention the Bullhead before. That has been re-released, but very hard to find. So with the Blackfoot body that's going to be left over from the Mud Blaster build, that's going to be used for the Ford Ranger XLT. So we need to buy another SRB chassis, most probably another Sand Scorcher, because then I can use that body on something else. It's just going to be more useful than a buggy body. Other tribute cars, what have we got? Hilux Monster Racer. I think you might be able to get away with using, I forget the the chassis designation, the same as the Blitzer Beetle or the Stadium Blitzer. They might be different chassis, but you'll still get that same stadium truck look, and I'm pretty sure you can still buy the body, probably an aftermarket Lexan body for it. You might be able to get away with that one. What else? Can you think of anything, Zach? Opel Ascona.
Yeah, I think you talked about that one.
You might be able to get that body. Oh, Renault 5 Turbo. They did re-release this on a. That's the one that's on the MO5 chassis. So you could make a tribute one of them. You'd probably go with the MCI decals on that again. Now they might have re-released other cars that I'm aware of. There's a good chance. I know nothing of the on-road cars, except for the 956. I used to have that back in the day. They never re-released the proper 12 scale one. But apart from that, I know nothing about the rest of the on-road cars. But I'm guessing you could probably just buy just about any on-road chassis, like an F chassis, F103, F104, Group C, like the Mercedes. I think they might have re-released that, but you get the idea. All your on-road cars you can probably make up out of on-road chassis, like the Porsches you can probably make up out of TGO1 chassis. They're nice and cheap, and just get the body and the decals and off you go. Even though they'll be 10 scale instead of 12 scale, but they still look the same, and that's what we're going for. We're not going for originality here, we're going for looks. Now the difficult ones, these are the ones you guys can help us out with, if you have any actual information on these cars, like the Blazing Blazer and the Hilux 4x4. Very hard to get, and if you can get them, you're going to be paying through the teeth for them. I'll probably have to sell a kidney just for one of them. So if you guys, actually the Hilux 4x4, there's rumour that HG, the model company, Hangwen, I think they're called, HG, who did their own version of the 2012 version of the Bruiser, which we have. Now in Australia, the Bruisers are worth around about $1,200 if you can get them. That's a lot of money. We can still pick up a HG P407 for less than $400. And apart from material quality, they're basically identical. Now there's rumour that HG are going to be doing the Hilux 4x4 as well. So if they do that, then we are definitely going to buy one and do our own version of the Hilux 4x4. Obviously they won't be Tamiya cars, Tamiya branded cars, but they will look the part, and that'll be good enough for us to sit on the shelf. This sidecar, it's a strange one for Tamiya, but I've never seen that re-released, and that's probably a very hard one to get. I wouldn't even know where to start to replicate a chassis for that one. So this is what I mean. If you guys know other chassis we can use and other bodies we can use to achieve what we're trying to do, then yeah, please let us know. Nissan King Cab, obviously, everybody's waiting for that to be re-released. Whether it does or not, I don't know. I think that's about it. So yeah, that's probably turned out not so quick, but yeah, that's just a review of what we're up to at the moment, and what we've got left to do to achieve our goal, and some of the difficult to impossible cars that we need to try and replicate. So again, thanks for watching, thanks for your support. We'll see you on the next video.